Okay, so let's work on page 16 here. Okay, so before I do these two programs, I want you to practice the counterclockwise and clockwise and angles. Okay, so we're gonna practice getting the slopes. Okay, all right. So here is a coordinate plane. Okay, this is positive x. This is negative x. This is positive y, and this is negative y. Okay, and counterclockwise going this way, and clockwise going this way. That's how the clocks, the needles, the hands of the clock goes this way. Then it doesn't go this way. This is counterclockwise, and this is clockwise. Okay, so if I tell you to get slope of line that goes 30-degree counterclockwise, that means this 30-degree counterclockwise from positive x. Okay, so if I say the get the slope of the line 30-degree counterclockwise from positive x, this is the line that you want to get the slope from. Okay, so this is 30 degrees. So if you do the perpendicular line here, this is the short leg, this is the long leg, so this is 60 degree, right? So this ratio should be √3 to 1. Okay, so the slope of this line have to be rise over run, right? But you cannot have radicals in denominator, so this is 3 over √3. Okay, so the slope of this line is this. Okay, so now I tell you to get a slope of a line that is 120 counterclockwise from positive x. So stop the video and try to do it yourself. Okay, 120 counterclockwise from positive x. So positive x is over here. 120 means you're gonna go 90 and then 30 more, right? So this is 120 counterclockwise. Okay, so you have to get the slope of this line, and these are 90 degrees. This is 30, right? 120 minus 90 is 30, so that means this is 60. Okay, so that means this is the long leg and this is the short leg. So this is going to be -1, right? Because it goes -1, and then it goes up in a positive y, so it's √3. Okay, so the slope is rise over run, so the rise is √3 and the run is -1. I'm sorry, yeah, run is -1, so the slope is -√3 for this one. Okay, let's try something from y-axis. So get the slope of a line that is let's see, 180, so 210. No, let's do it let's do clockwise. Let's do clockwise and 120. Okay, from positive x. Okay, so positive y. So it is 120 degree clockwise from positive y. Okay, so positive y is over here. 120 means clockwise means 90 here, and then right here this is 30, this is 90, together it's 120, right? And this is the clockwise from positive y. So that means this is 1 and this is √3, but 1 is -1, right? Because y goes in the negative territory here, so y is -1, and so the rise is -1 and run is positive √3. Okay, so this is -1 over √3 slope. So you have to rationalize this. This is 3 over -√3. Okay, I think you get the picture. Okay, all right, so let's do this one. Okay, so 31. This one, 45 degree from the measured counterclockwise from positive axis, so the line is this, right? And 45 degree means this is also have to be 45, so rise over run have to be 1 to 1, so the slope is 1. Okay, and then this it goes through 5. Let's say this is 5 and 5, right? 5 and 5, it have to go through origin. So the intercept, the b is 0. So y equal, well actually if you're not sure about that, you can plug this in, okay? So the 1x plus b, right? And you have to go through this point. So 5 equal 5, no, 1 times 5, right? 1 times x is 5 plus b. So this is 5 and this is 5, so b have to be 0. Okay, so the equation is y equal x. Okay, and this one. Oh, so let's try this with 10 and 5 instead of 5 and 5. Then you have to put the 5 in y. So 5 in y, and then 1 times 10 plus b, right? So then 5 minus 10 have to equal b. So b is negative 5. So if the point that goes through is 10 and 5, the equation is y equal x minus 5. Okay? I asked you to do that in some classes. Okay? Alright, and then let's look at this one, 32. Okay? So, this goes through origin. It tells you that goes through origin. Okay? So that means the intercept is 0. That's the line that goes through. Intercept is 0. So b is 0. Okay, and then counterclockwise 135. So you're gonna go 90 and then 135, so 45 more. It's right here. This is 135 degree and this is 45. That means this is 45. So that means this is negative 1, then this is gonna be 1, right? It goes down 1 when x go this way, or when x go negative 1, then y goes up by 1. Okay, so the slope is negative 1. So it's y equal negative 1x plus b, but we know that b is 0, so the equation is y equal negative x. Okay? 33. This one we did in the class, but I wanted to do it again in case you didn't get this. Okay? So, perpendicular. These two lines have to be perpendicular to each other. Perpendicular means the slope is opposite reciprocal. So for example, if the slope is 2 for one line, then the other one have to be negative 1/2, right? Reciprocal and opposite, the sign changes. But reciprocal by definition means if you multiply these two numbers, you're going to get 1, right? That's what reciprocal means. And since you are changing the sign, right, if this is positive, this is going to be negative. If this is negative, this is going to be positive. If you multiply these two numbers, you have to get -1. Opposite reciprocal means that if you multiply two numbers, you're going to get -1. So, for example, the first slope is 4/3, right? The slope that is going to be perpendicular to this line have to be -3/4, right? If you multiply these numbers, it's going to be 1, and then it's changing sign, so it's -1. That's what it means, okay? So, once you get the slope of these two lines, you have to set them, multiply them, and then set them equal -1. And then that's how you solve for k. So this one is already in y equal form. So the slope is 9k for this one, right? Anything that is in front of x is the slope. So 9k is the slope. This one you have to solve for y to get the slope. So for y is -kx plus 12, right? So y is -k over 4x plus 3. So the slope is -k over 4, okay? So this times this have to be -1 for these two lines to be perpendicular. Okay, so 9k times -k over 4 have to be -1. Okay, this -1 will guarantee that these two slopes are going to be perpendicular to each other. Okay, so this is minus, the denominator is 4, numerator is 9k squared is -1. Okay, so k squared is, you multiply both sides by the -4/9. So, -1 times -4/9, which is 4/9. Right? So, that means k have to be square root of 4/9. But, you don't forget, when you are taking the square root, you are introducing two solutions, plus and minus. Because if you square the negative twice, you're going to get positive, right? So, This number is positive. If you take a square root, you have to introduce plus minus. If this number is negative, you cannot take a square root because no number that square twice is going to have a negative. That's imaginary number. You learn that in algebra too. Okay, you're not going to get a negative number here. Okay, so this means plus minus square root of 4 over square root of 9. Right? You can separate the square root into 2. So plus minus 2 over 3. Okay, so the answer is k can be positive 2/3 or negative 2/3. And just to prove my point, negative 2/3 squared is the square times square is positive, and then you get the 4 over 9, which is this. That's why you need the negative 2/3 as well.